If you want a midsize SUV, but you do not need 3 rows of seats, Ford has an answer for you. It's called the Edge.
While the Jeep Grand Cherokee and Subaru Outback traffic in rugged outdoorsiness, the Ford Edge is crafted for premium quality domestic living. A focus that can be found in a driving character that's both comfortable and quiet.
Comfortable though it may be, the Ford Edge has a dynamic pizzazz. There's not a strong sense of connection between the steering wheel and the front tires, but the handling is agile enough to keep the driver from getting bored. And man, I get bored easily. The Ford Edge's anti-boredom stance is further honed in the Sport trim. With its sport-tuned suspension, the Edge Sport seriously hustles through corners. And why not? Empty nesters like fun too. Whee! My child is gone! They went to college, to clarify.
Adding to that fun is the Sport's exclusive 2.7-liter EcoBoost V6, which sends its formidable power groundward via a standard all-wheel drive system.
The first time you floor the Edge Sport, 2 things will surprise you. 1, the intense thrust, and 2, the sweet gravelly soundtrack. There's no rule that says the car that you use to drop your kid off at college can't also sound awesome.
The 2.7-liter EcoBoost is the clear star of the Edge's engine lineup, with a base 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder provides more than adequate power and up to 30 mpg on the freeway. On higher trims, buyers can choose a naturally aspirated 3.5-liter V6 whose extra horses drag fuel economy down a touch. Aside from the Sport trim, front-wheel drive is standard, with all-wheel drive a roughly $1,500 option. Regardless of engine, all Edges feature a competent, paddle-shiftable 6-speed automatic transmission. And if you plan to tow, both the base engine and the optional V6 are rated for 3,500 pounds. Strangely, the Sport's uber-powerful twin-turbo V6 is only rated to tow 2,000 pounds. For hauling gear internally, you'll find a healthy 39.2 cubic feet behind the rear seats, supplemented by modest underfloor storage.
The cargo space would be even more useful if the hatch didn't cut into this space, but hey, if you want to look good, sometimes you have to make sacrifices. And now I'm going to do 100 squats. 46. 99. 100. And that's how you make a car video.
Dropping the 60/40 split rear seats creates a large, useful space for hauling discoveries from the antique mall. Raise those seats, and there's abundant room for adults. Even with 3 people aboard, rear quarters aren't uncomfortable, unless you make them that way. Without looking garish, the Edge's cabin has a contemporary flair matched by nice materials and a generally usable layout, including physical buttons where vexing capacitive controls once resided.
One key interior strength is an abundance of spots to store random stuff. The glove compartment is reasonably sized, but the center console is surprisingly deep. There's also a spot behind the climate control where you can toss, I don't know, an iPhone or something like that. And then up top, push this button, there's this covered storage area where I guess I can put my wallet if I'm a trusting sort. And then by the driver's left knee, look, here's a spot where I can store my handy roll of medical tape, which is perfectly creepy. And then in the back here, a little shelf where I suppose I'll put the keys. The lesson is clear, you need more stuff.
A basic Sync infotainment system comes standard, but we greatly prefer the available Sync 3 system found on higher trims.
Featuring 2 USB ports, a responsive 8-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and a straightforward layout, Sync 3 makes life easier, not more complicated.
For a base price around $30,000, you'll get a Ford Edge filled with standards like a backup camera, cloth seats, Bluetooth, and push-button start, though its natural partner passive entry costs extra. Flex your buying power, and you can add power front seats, heated and ventilated front seats, parking sensors, dual-zone automatic climate control, remote rear seat releases, and a helpful foot-activated liftgate that works exactly as advertised. Safety-related options include adaptive cruise control with forward collision warning, lane departure warning, inflatable rear seatbelts, blind spot monitoring, and a washer-equipped forward-facing 180-degree camera that elevates driver confidence when pulling into traffic or parking.
For drivers with zero parking confidence, Ford's automatic parking system is a welcome add-on. Simply push the button, follow the instructions, and onlookers will think you've mastered the driving skills society once deemed critical. Drive forward. Yeah, I can do that. Stop. Back. And let's let the car do the work. Oh, geez, is that gonna work? That seems real tight. I'm sorry, car. You know better than I do.
One more steering note, standard on the Edge Sport and optional on the titanium trim is a cool adaptive steering system that quickens the steering ratio at slow speeds for easy maneuvering and slows the steering at high speeds for improved stability. Build a richly appointed titanium trim and its sub $40,000 base price can swell to nearly $47,000. Meanwhile, the sporting Ford Edge Sport sports sporty styling and a sporty attitude with a base price slightly higher than $41,000. Sport. The Jeep Grand Cherokee and Subaru Outback rank among the Ford Edge's competitors, but perhaps the closest contender is the intensely styled and similarly priced Nissan Murano. For a bargain-priced alternative, take a look at the 5-passenger Kia Sorento. It's also worth pointing out that the roomier Ford Explorer can seat up to 7 for only about $2,000 more than the Edge's base price.
The Ford Edge brings tasteful styling, roomy practicality, and a premium aura to the midsize SUV category. Do you only need 5 seats? Do most of your adventures occur near civilization? If so, then perhaps you too will find satisfaction with the Edge.